The topic of kiruv or outreach has become a major issue in Judaism. Became a big business in Judaism. And it's a challenge that modern Judaism has to face. How do we bring the people in? Why? Because before it wasn't an issue. Most of the Jews were Shomer Shabbat. I spoke to somebody who lived in Pennsylvania. What's something Pennsylvania in the time of the flood? So he told me, like, when the conservative and reform came in, at the beginning they were just looking for. They weren't conservative and reform people. They were all regular Shomer Shabbat people. And those people, they graduated out of the theological seminary and union, whatever, all these places. They came in, they infiltrated the shul, and slowly had changed. And therefore, that's how people became. They weren't like reform and conservative like they are today. So before that, most people were Shomer Shabbat, and there was always a number of people that weren't Shomer Shabbat, always. But not to the extent today. Today is a new challenge on Judaism where we have most of the Jews not observant and a small segment of the Jews are observant. So we feel responsible and we need to go out. So therefore we need a trend that we need to learn how to do. So many people look around and they see, for example, what's his name? The priest, Pat Roberts. I don't know what it is. Like evangelic. They look at the evangelic Christians, Baptists, and so on and so forth, and they look at the way they carry their speeches and they portray the message. Because the evangelic movement in Christianity is a movement that, quote unquote, lehavdil, does Christians outreach, right? The born agains and so on and so forth. So if it's good for them, it must be good for us. And they go and they speak and they take the same man and they yell and the Lord and the burn in hell and the whole entire scary. It helps certain people and so on and so forth. And yet together with that, it pushes a lot of people away. Certain people like to be very hard, like boom, 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 knocking on the door, taking prison. That doesn't help. Yes, you might help one person, but you're going to lose 10 others. That's not the Jewish way of doing outreach. I'll give you 2 examples. There was I forgot which rabbi he was, his name, but he lived in Haifa, in Israel. And every Shabbat he used to walk to shul. There was a kiosk, they used to sell stuff there. Juices, newspapers, candies, and so on and so forth. The guy was open on Shabbat. Every morning, every Shabbat, the rabbi used to go there. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. He never said to him, "Oh, Shabbos, you are betraying your people, doing." He didn't do that. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, everybody Shalom. Then one day the rabbi moved away from where he lived. He still made it his business to go by the kiosk and say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. One Shabbat, the rabbi comes like this. He says to the guy, he comes and he sees the place closed and the guy standing there. He says to him, Shabbat Shalom, what happened? He said, that's it, I'm tired of this already. I'm going with you to shul. That's the way of Judaism. That's the derech of Hillel. Sweetness, it takes a lot of time. We want quick fixation, like right away. Fix. We don't, and I do believe that maybe along the line, somewhere along the line, we don't really believe 100% of what we'd say. We don't want somebody to ask us questions that maybe would face some kind of a danger to where are we holding and so on and so forth. Do we really believe in that? So we want the quick fix. More people on our side, right? Nobody will challenge me. I'll move on to the next target and so on and so forth. That's not the way of Judaism. There's a story about Rav Levin. Rav Levin was a big rabbi in Yerushalayim. he was walking in the street one time, and he saw a bachur, a guy that he knew, and he wanted to go and say hello to him. This is Rabbi Levine. It's not just like some chachamiko from, it's Rabbi Levine. So he kind of running after him, and just to say hello, like Aharon, Rodef Shalom. Rodef Shalom. He's running after people to say shalom to him. So then he finally called to him. The guy says, "Okay, Rabbi, please." So he says, "Why are you running away from me?" He says, "Very simple, Rabbi. I'm not wearing a kippah. I don't want you to see me without a kippah." Now that's Jewish outrage. Rabbi Levine said to him, "I'm a short guy. I only see up to the heart. I can't see up to the head." Turn the guy around. My dear friend Rav Shmuel Eliyahu from Tzfat, one time I remember there was a pizza place in Tzfat, open on Shabbat. Whoa! Shabbos, screaming and yelling, and people that want to make demonstration. There was almost a lynch over there. Rav Eliyahu heard about it. He went over there. I said to the guys, bevakasha, I'm the chief rabbi. Everybody, please go. We'll take care of it. Please go. Lechu, shalom, azvu oto. Leave him alone, and so on and so forth. And he made the mob leave. Next day, which was a Sunday, the guy comes to him and says, "Rabbi, I want a hechsher on my store, a kashrut certificate on my store. I want you to give me a kashrut certificate." Rabbi says, "No, I can't. It's on Shabbat." He says, "Don't worry about it. I'm going to be closing on Shabbat." That's a Jewish way. Another story that I heard myself on Shabbat. I went one time when I was looking to move to Eretz Israel. I met this couple, and they were telling me stories how they became Baalei Tshuva. All it took for them is just to say hello to people. People said hello to them. He said slowly they became Baalei Tshuva. Just hello. My wife was covering her hair. I remember coming to the house. It was on Erev Shabbat. The house smelled like Gan Eden. This is a small house. It was beautiful. And that's what made them Baalei Tshuva. Niceness, kindness. Not like, you'll be burned in hell. You betraying your people. How dare you? It doesn't work. That does not work. Aggressiveness is a sign of weakness. If you're strong, you know you're strong. There's nothing to do. It's like a chihuahua always barking. Wah, wah. You have a Great Dane. He doesn't bark. I knew this dog. They call him Ninja. It was a white Akita. It wasn't a dog. It was a donkey. It was huge. And he was aware of his power. Yet with my daughter, he was so gentle. She used to grab his ear like this, put her hand in his mouth. I was like, the whole entire hand. She used to take food for him. She used to feed it. He never did a thing. Giant of a dog. The first time he barked, he scared himself. He went, whoop, and he ran. He never had the need to bark. He was just intimidated by its size. Yet a chihuahua will bark and bite and run. That sometimes we are chihuahuas. Ay caramba, we are chihuahuas. That's not the Jewish way. A guy that I knew in Tzfat said to me one time, "You know how I was Chazer B'Tshuvah? I'll tell you how I was Chazer B'Tshuvah." He says, "I was the most anti-religious people that you could get. One day, I have a new guy who was renting a house right next door to me. It was like a semi-attached, right next door to me. I say, you know me. Shabbat, I put the radio on, Sephardic music, whatever he's listening, barbecuing like this, smoke, toret goes up, mizbeach, going up to Shamayim, shish kebab. Now I knew the guy's like this, he's religious. I wanted to have a fight with him. I said, this week, extra smoke. I said, I put more lamp fat on top, radio was blasting, the smoke is coming all his way. The guy is coming for shul, and I said, I am ready for battle now. The guy comes, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. They didn't say a word. He says, I figured maybe I'll make it a little louder. The guy is eating. He said, I hate religious people. The guy never said a word to me. I never seen it before. Again, next Shabbat, the same thing. The guy comes in, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Never say a word. He said, eventually, I simply had enough. So one time he comes like this, and he said, this I had everything, beer and smoke and radio and everything, you can't put any long anymore. And the guy comes for shul and he says, oh, Shabbat Shalom. And he's telling me, hey, get over here, boina, get over here. This guy says, yes. He says, let me ask you something. The guy said, yeah? Doesn't it bother you? I'm making all this music. I'm putting this more. I don't understand you. Are you religious at all? He said to him, listen, that's your house. You can do whatever you want in your house. That's my house. That's how I do in my house. He said, I felt like somebody just punched me in the stomach. I said, from that point on, I stopped doing barbecue on Shabbat, no more radio. I started yelling at everybody. Slowly, he said, he made me Shabbat Shalom. He says, because until that point, I heard only you're a goy, how do you do this? You say, I betray my people. I spilled my blood for the people. You tell me I betrayed the people? Blah, 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 the whole entire speech. The regular secular speech. Where is God here? Where was God there? He said, it's the first time that I actually heard somebody nice. He said, well, I realized how wrong I was. What a fool I was. What an idiot I was. He said, first of all, from that point on, there was no barbecue on Shabbat, no radio on Shabbat. He started telling everybody to be quiet. And he himself became a Shomer Shabbat. Rabotai, outreach Judaism is not, shalom, is not with big banquets and anything. Outreach Judaism is with kindness. Shabbat Shalom.